dark rooms, creepy corridors, and moments of silence that will seep into your soul. VR technology makes the horror experience more personal and intense than ever before. These games take you to the darkest corners of virtual reality. Here are the top 7 VR horror games that will make your heart race. In 7th place on the list is an experience that focuses on the purest and most claustrophobic form of fear, seemingly simple yet extremely effective. Dreadhalls. In dark, bottomless tunnels, moving forward with only a lantern in your hand creates a gnawing sense of unease. Dreadhalls relies on the fear that grows in your mind rather than visual spectacles. The only way to survive these labyrinths is to escape the things lurking in the darkness and resist the tricks your mind plays on you. Why is the VR experience good? Because VR's nature of trapping you in a confined space perfectly supports the game's claustrophobic atmosphere. Echoes coming from all sides and the limited light from your flashlight raise the tension to unbearable levels. Why should you play? If you're the type who hides in the back seat during thriller movies, this experience is perfect for you. Dreadhalls delivers an unforgettable horror experience through pure atmosphere and psychological tension rather than flashy graphics. If you want to learn what it means to get lost in a labyrinth that gets under your skin, where you can hear your own heartbeat, then face this game. In 6th place, an open-world adventure awaits us, combining the struggle for survival in the wild with a fear that gets under your skin. The Forest. In The Forest VR, peaceful forests turn into an eerie nightmare at night. You must fight intelligent cannibal mutants to survive, while also battling hunger and thirst. The frantic rush to build shelters and gather resources creates unbearable tension amid the constant threat of attack. Why is the VR experience good? Because VR makes your survival struggle extremely personal. Chopping wood or building your shelter feels incredibly realistic. Enemies cleverly surrounding you, thanks to VR's depth perception, offers a much more terrifying and intense experience. Why should you play? If you want to not only experience fear, but also fight for a purpose within that fear and strive to survive, this game will captivate you. When playing with friends, you'll experience an unforgettable adventure, oscillating between the confidence that comes from cooperation and solidarity, and the fear created by the chaos you suddenly find yourself in. In 5th place on the list, we encounter a familiar yet deeply unsettling place that turns your childhood memories into a terrifying nightmare. Five Nights at Freddy's. Help Wanted. This game offers a thrilling experience where you try to survive until morning in the back room of a colorful pizzeria. Five Nights at Freddy's. Help Wanted brings together all the series' most iconic horror moments, putting you face to face with animatronic monsters. Watching them on screen isn't enough. Now they're in the same room as you. Why is the VR experience good? Because VR perfectly amplifies the feeling of being trapped. A giant animatronic approaching you in the dark isn't just a jump scare. It becomes a real threat with a physical presence. As you hear the sounds behind the door, the tension multiplies for the viewer. Why should you play? If you want to see how realistic jump scares can be in VR, this game is for you. You won't believe how terrifying childhood characters can be, and you'll be proud of every shift you survive. In 4th place on the list is a harsh and brutal world, where you must not only fear for your life, but also fight to survive. The Walking Dead. Saints and Sinners. An adventure awaits you in the flooded, zombie-infested ruins of New Orleans, where every choice you make has serious consequences. The Walking Dead. Saints and Sinners is one of VR's most mature storytellers, featuring physics-based combat mechanics and deep moral dilemmas. Here, your weapons are not just tools to defeat enemies, but also to manage your hunger and hope. Why is the VR experience good? Because VR makes your survival struggle physical and personal. You use all your strength to push zombies, stab them, or break down doors. This physicality makes the tension tangible and turns every moment into a matter of life and death. Why should you play? If you want to not only be scared, but also get deeply immersed and experience the consequences of difficult choices, this game is a masterpiece. It will be an indispensable part of your VR library for those seeking both action and story. In third place on the list is an adaptation that perfectly balances action and suspense, almost recreating a classic video game. Resident Evil 4 VR. The unforgettable story and iconic scenes of the original game feel as fresh and immersive as ever in this version. Resident Evil 4 VR puts you in the shoes of Leon S. Kennedy, allowing you to wield your weapons with your own hands, solve puzzles physically, and fight off enemies in the famous Mercenaries mode. Why is the VR experience good? Because this game was designed specifically for VR. Actions like resting the rifle on your shoulder and taking aim feel physical and intuitive. It intensifies the action and makes the tension unbearable when you encounter enemies like the Regenerator. Why should you play? This game is like a dream come true, allowing you to experience nostalgia and relive a beloved story in the most personal way possible. You'll experience the thrill of battling a masterpiece in VR and becoming part of it. In second place on the list is one of the highest quality VR horror experiences ever produced. Resident Evil Village VR. This game allows you to fully immerse yourself in an extremely detailed world that ranges from gothic castles to industrial facilities. Resident Evil Village, filled with creatures even more terrifying than Lady Dimitrescu, not only scares you, but also lets you experience an epic tale of heroism within that fear. Why is the VR experience great? Because PSVR 2's 4K HDR displays, wide field of view, and haptic controllers take this experience to the next level. The recoil of your weapon and the eerie sounds in the dark deliver a cinematic quality of fear. This is a blockbuster experience you can only find in VR. Why should you play? If you're curious about what next-gen horror looks like, you'll find the answer in this game. With its stunning graphics, deep atmosphere, and technologically challenging VR adaptation, Resident Evil Village is the system-selling masterpiece for PSVR 2. And at the top of the list is the phenomenon that turns fear into an unforgettable team activity, blending social and supernatural suspense. Work together using EMF readers and spirit boxes to uncover clues. But be careful, every ghost is unique and deadly. Phasmophobia. This game challenges you and your friends to enter abandoned and haunted locations, gather evidence, and identify the type of ghost. Phasmophobia is a masterpiece that demonstrates how fear can be built not only through visuals but also through auditory and social dynamics. When combined with the fact that the ghost can hear you, team communication creates a social tension bomb ready to explode at any moment. Why is the VR experience good? Because VR makes this fear incredibly personal and intense. Hearing a whisper in a dark corridor or coming face-to-face with a sudden silhouette is much more terrifying than on a screen. When you hear your friend scream right next to you, the panic reaches its peak. Why should you play? Because Phasmophobia VR offers an unparalleled experience where you'll create unforgettable memories with your friends. Enjoy the unique relief of being scared together, screaming, and rescuing a friend in distress. It's the perfect game that turns fear into social fun. Here are the most terrifying and shocking VR experiences. So, which of these games would you dare to play? Which one scares you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on new horror experiences in the VR world. Remember, you're not alone in the dark. Or maybe you are. Ha 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 ha.